I'll have to, I'll see if I can get it plugged in. We're gonna have to move over that way. No? Okay, Joe.
Hello, good evening. As my mom said, my name is Janelle. I'm her daughter. I'm the baby. So she asked me to present. This is not anything that I feel to per se, but I'm doing it for her. So we were talking about narcissism, maybe about what, a couple weeks ago?
Yes, yeah.
And then so she asked me to have Lady B discuss it. I just want to say that I'm not a doctor by any means. I am, I have my bachelor's in psychology and my master's in clinical counseling. I took my state exam and I passed it. So I have my LGPC and I'm currently working on the hours I need to actually get my full credential in clinical counseling, specializing in traumatology.
Okay.
What do I do now? So I actually started, well, I guess after college, I did I was like a behavior specialist. And then I kind of went into addiction. So I've been working as a addiction counselor, maybe about 9 or 10 years, about 9 or 10 years. And then I kind of got away from that, and now I'm focusing mostly on just mental health. I mean, even though it goes together, I kind of just want to get away from addictions and just focus on mental health. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. I've worked with kids from elementary school age all the way up to 70-year-olds. So that's pretty much my background with that. So I put a presentation together for narcissism. It's like in 6 different sections. We'll probably only do a couple tonight, and then I think maybe next week we might do the rest.
Let it continue.
But if I can get through it now, then we'll just go ahead and finish it up. I'm not one that likes to speak in front of people or anything, but I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my very best. All right. So I just wanna so I forgot my laptop. So I have my presentation on my phone, so that's why you see me looking at my phone and stuff. But I wanted to open it up with just a little exercises of myth and fact about narcissism. I can't hear y'all, but I'll answer the question. We'll answer the questions the best of our knowledge.
Yes, afterwards.
All right. So, why talk about narcissism?
What is it? Maybe you can define it first.
Okay. Well,
You
yeah.
know,
So,
if it's a set definition, you know.
I mean, yeah, there's a set definition, but there's can be many different traits and characteristics that fall under narcissism. Some people are very quick to try to define
Yeah.
narcissism,
Mhm.
and you can have traits of narcissism and not have it, not have that diagnosis.
Mhm.
And so a lot of people sometimes will self-diagnose themselves and just based off of a certain trait. And usually the trait that they want to say, oh yeah, you're narcissistic, is usually one where the person's extremely like confident or cocky acting, and that doesn't necessarily mean a person is narcissistic,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
So I think that's a big misconception, and honestly, you just have to define between confidence versus narcissism, and that's actually a part of the presentation. Okay, but what is narcissism? Pretty much, it's it's the way you can describe someone who is like, selfish, um, controlling. Controlling is probably the biggest thing.
Okay.
Their need for control and power, right? Because what does that do? It validates them. When you're dealing with narcissistic people, um, when you're dealing with narcissistic people, right? It's all about power. It's all about control. It's all about validation. Why? because they don't feel that way. You know,
Okay.
there's something
They
that's
don't
left.
say it. They
Perhaps I'm not.
they don't acknowledge that they have the.
No, well, some people don't, but for those that do, right?
Yeah.
Again, and that's a part of this, but for those that actually do, it takes years and years of therapy for them to actually, what you're doing essentially somewhat like you're undoing your whole entire life. It's not like a person just, oh yeah, you wake up at 30 years old and boom, you have it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's definitely a link to something. You know, narcissism can be something that has developed due to some trauma, or it could be something that can be hereditary. So there's just a lot of different factors that play into that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to open it up with doing the understanding narcissism activity. All right. So pretty much the purpose of this challenge is to, you know, challenge the common misconceptions about narcissism. Okay. All right. So I'm going to read out a statement and we go ahead and define, say whether it's a myth or a fact. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So anyone who is selfish or inconsiderate is a narcissist. What do we think?
Well, you just told us in your talk before that it doesn't mean that they are narcissistic if they are selfish.
Mhm.
So.
So that is a myth. That is a myth,
I would
right?
say that's a myth, yeah. It's
It
very hard to, it's hard to diagnose, I believe, you know, that I've heard that, I don't.
It just depends. There's different types of narcissism, and we're going to go over that too. There's definitely different types of narcissism. All right. But with the statement that I just read, so everyone can be selfish at times. Okay. Narcissism involves a consistent pattern,
Mhm.
okay, of behaviors such as like the entitlement, lack of empathy. That is a huge one too. Usually people with narcissism, lack empathy.
Now, is that emotion? Empathy?
Empathy
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that has to do with the emotion too.
and feelings, yeah.
So the feelings and feelings, wow.
Being able to
Mhm.
even
Feel for
know what
somebody.
you feel like.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
almost like they can't even identify feelings with you, with anybody.
anybody, yeah.
That's why it's very hard to be in a relationship with one, or
Mhm.
even try to correct behaviors with one, because
Mhm.
it's like a total disconnect. The thing about it is though, usually narcissistic people are very much aware of what they're doing to a person, because it's a lot of manipulation, a lot of gaslighting, right?
Mhm.
But it's all of those tactics are that they use, right, to gain control and power over that person. You're essentially you are trying to take energy, literally a person's whole self-esteem, right? And take all of that from them, because they go after people that usually ones that are like empath, that are highly sensitive, or like that usually ones that they see something that they need or want out of that person,
Mhm.
right? And what they do is they go, because you have to understand, they don't necessarily know what they are. They're very lost individuals,
Mhm.
you know? So how do they define themselves is usually whoever they can take from. And when I say take, I mean they will mirror people. They will mirror people.
And what does that mean, to mirror someone? Act like them?
Yeah. Yeah.
To, for what purpose would that?
Because they don't know who they are. They're lost individuals.
Oh, okay, so that would make the other person kind of
Okay,
feel
let me
like you're
explain.
together
Okay, so
with it.
what you can do with this is, I gotta put my phone down, right?
Yeah.
So a very highly confident person, right?
Yes.
One that's very sure of themselves.
So-
They had a proper, you know, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a proper upbringing or anything like that,
Yeah.
but very secure, confident. They're stable, all of that, right?
Stuck up? Can you
No,
say,
no, no.
not stuck up, just
No.
all those other, okay,
Right? They're consider them up here, right?
yeah,
Narcissistic people are usually like down here, right?
okay, yeah,
I'm using this as an example.
okay.
So what they will do is, especially to a person who's empathetic or has a lot of empath, right?
Okay,
We're kind of weak when it comes to, you know, people who are narcissistic, right?
yeah,
Because empaths, what happens with empaths, they see the good in everything, they see the
Okay.
potential.
Yeah.
Sometimes with empath, you feel energy or you recognize things that probably the person themselves,
Mhm.
can't even recognize, or even identify themselves, right? So you have just a strong desire or need to want to heal, to want to help, to want to, just make a person, you just want to help them, right? And narcissistic people are attracted to the people like that
Okay.
because they know it's an unlimited supply. And what that means is everything that a narcissistic does is very transactional.
Mhm.
One here, okay?
Good girl. All right. Just sit down over there.
Maybe
honey.
sit down. All right, so it's
Yeah.
very, very transactional.
Yes.
All right, meaning they don't see people as people, they see people sometimes as utility,
Mhm.
resource, right? What can they get out of you, ma'am? Okay, good girl. It's more, like I said, it's extremely transactional,
Mhm.
right? What can I get? Energy. They're called like energy vampires because they literally can drain you. It's the emotional exhaustion because they're never satisfied.
Do we become, or not necessarily me or we, but does that make that other person become an enabler?
In a lot of ways, we can be because we're so manipulated and so gaslight. They gaslight us, right?
Yeah, so.
And that's usually their way of taking control
Mhm.
and being powerful over us. Narcissistic people, they're usually they're cowards. Let's just be honest. They're cowards.
Yeah, they're not.
But being in
secure, they
control, no, but being in control, right,
Uh-huh.
gives them a sense of power and strength, right?
Yes.
And they recognize something that they are without that they need. And so they're attracted to people, right? They'll identify something, within you that they want or that they need.
Yeah.
And so they'll attach themselves or they'll come over to you and whatnot. And then once you're drained, because literally, narcissist,
Mhm.
empath, or whoever they're with, right?
Mhm.
Right? Literally, what's going to happen is they're going to be on top, and then all of a sudden, you're drained of everything.
Everything, yeah, I can see.
And then guess what? You're going to get discarded. They're gonna discard you. They don't have to really go away for real, but I mean, they just discard you. Why? Because they're done. And if they do come back around, right, it's usually because they might want to just continue the cycle. We'll go over the cycle, DARVO, right? That's the acronym for it. But what they want to do is sometimes they just want to seek and destroy. Because
Wow.
seeing people beg for them, seeing people that will just do anything and everything, it makes them feel powerful. It makes them feel validated.
Mhm.
It feeds them. And then when they can't get any more from you,
Yeah.
they'll move on. And then they can continue the cycle. If the person is not able to recognize that or what, because they'll gaslight. And that's why a lot of people tend to go through many different cycles with them.
Gaslighting is lying? Is it lying, or is it not telling the whole truth, or
It's manipulation.
manipulation?
It's
Oh,
to
wow.
make you second guess
Yourself. Oh, wow.
Yeah. To the point where you don't even now you're questioning your sanity.
Okay.
It's a very dangerous game. It's a very dangerous thing, right? So
Yes.
we'll go, since we've already started talking about that part of it, we're gonna just go ahead and skip
No,
the
do
facts
whatever
and the
you
myth.
have to do. I just had questions.
Yeah, okay. All right. This talks, people with narcissistic behavior always know they're hurting others.
Do it.
No, they always. Is that
Always
a fact or a myth?
So this is part of their control, and oh, wow.
It's actually a myth. Meaning it's not true.
It's not, now that we see it, it's not true.
Because some individuals, they may recognize their impact that their behavior has on a person, right? But they also avoid responsibility and accountability. That's a big thing too, because they cannot handle any form of shame. They cannot sit with themselves. They can't, which is why, and this goes into the cycle, right? They won't ever take accountability for anything. And if they do, it's usually going to be fake and a lie. And they're going to do it in a way that you're like, it's not going to be sincere, right? But because we're so warped from, all of the gaslighting, the manipulation, all of that, we would literally think, because we end up losing or turning to the point where it's like, well, now I need you. Why would you leave me? Why, but they love that. That's what they want.
Yeah.
That's what they want. Now, not every narcissistic person, is like that, but majority of them are. Majority of them are. All right. But they just have they just have a very hard time with understanding anybody else's perspectives on things. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. I think we'll go right into um we'll go right into actually, oh, this is a good one, because one of the things that I think is really important, and I hope I don't offend people when I do this, is you'll find narcissism a lot in church.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of narcissistic people in church. Lots of them. And sometimes just because you would expect, well, we're in church, God is not of that and all that stuff, but nobody's God, though. You know what I'm saying? Aren't y'all, you're still flesh, regardless of whether you have the Holy Ghost or not, right? And so all of a sudden we just don't think, we automatically assume like, well, no, a man of God can't be narcissistic. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. It just may come out in very different ways. But make no mistake, narcissists, you have a lot of narcissistic pastors, deacons, first ladies, ushers, whatever you want to say. There's a lot of them. They just may disguise themselves a little bit differently, right? So, we'll go with that. We'll say that.
oh, right.
And I hope I don't, I don't really care, but I hope I don't offend anybody.
Right. We
But
don't want
yeah, okay. Okay. All right, so we're going to understand narcissism. So narcissism involves an excessive focus on oneself, a need for admiration, difficulty recognizing or valuing the feelings and needs of others. Your needs do not matter to me. You can literally do anything and everything to please a person with narcissism. It won't mean a thing, but they're very good at making it seem like it means something, right? So, as long as you just feeding into them, as far as like showing them, oh, you're so great, you're so wonderful, what they're gonna love you, right? They'll still do you dirty, yes, but they feed off of that. They love that. They love also chaos and confusion. They love that. They live in it. They thrive. They're not looking for nobody's peace or stability. That's what they're not looking for. All right. All
now
right.
these things that they do to people, you're saying that they're aware and they're purposely trying to get control
Some of them are.
because of what this person offers them.
What they can get from the person. First of all, let's stop
mean
saying
emotions
person.
or?
Let's stop saying person.
Oh,
Let's stop saying person. Let's stop. Don't say person.
What would you want me to say? The narcissistic or
No, your supply.
Oh, the enabler, the one that's helping
Not
them.
everybody needs them sometimes.
Yeah,
They
I'm
see
sure
everybody.
probably,
They see everybody as a supply.
okay.
You can be an apex supply, meaning an impact. Narcissistic people are naturally attracted to people like empaths, right?
Okay.
Because empaths usually have an unlimited amount of resources to them, meaning sometimes because of their emotions, their feelings, and everything, they can sometimes be blinded about what's really actually. So, for example, I can talk about myself and be transparent with me. Sometimes I can see a person's potential and I can go after that, and I won't even pay attention to the person that's actually like right in front of me. A lot of my impressions or my feelings or what I go after and think. It could be literally the potential of the person. And usually those traits are some of the traits that are deep inside,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
That they themselves they're not even aware of, right? And you stick with it, you know? So, but that's not everybody. I mean, that's not,
Now,
Everybody.
can you name a situation? I don't know if you
I
can
have
offhand.
examples. I have examples that-
I'm thinking you mentioned in the church. What would we see if we saw someone?
Um, I have,
Okay,
you, but it's,
you don't want any more questions?
no, it's not that, but I had, like, I'm not.
Okay,
Cause you're jumping and it's throwing me off.
okay.
But if you wanna just focus on the church part, I mean, I can, but,
No, go in whatever direction you are ready to go in.
all right. So their traits. Right? Grandiosity. When we're talking about narcissistic traits,
Mhm.
right? You might see grandiosity, right? So what is that? What is grandiosity? What do you think? Grand.
I would think that you're making a big thing out of nothing, or just making things be so big. Would it be to them or to the?
Yeah,
the
they're
neighbor?
superior.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, they're special. They deserve special treatment,
okay.
right? Very grand, right?
So grandiosity would be on the part of what not the supplier, but the other, the narcissistic person.
That's who we're talking about. Yeah, that's a trait. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah. Mhm.
grandiosity.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
In other words, rules don't apply to them. And if they have rules, it's usually on their terms. Yeah, it's all on their terms. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Need for control. Right. Okay. So a narcissistic person may struggle with when they're not in control.
Mhm.
Right. They can have big temper tantrums. And they usually will do something, you know what I'm saying? That could, right? They might become mean. You just never ever know, but they have a need for control, right? And also their need for control, you might see this and how it comes out is with manipulation. All right, with controlling decisions, creating fear of conflict. So how you might creating fear of conflict, right? So for example of that would be, you no longer feel comfortable about speaking. So when you do recognize something that's not right or that is hurtful, you just keep your mouth shut and you ignore it, or you try to convince yourself that it's not necessarily that big of a deal, all because you want to avoid any kind of conflict with them, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to get dismissed. And then you're going to be made to feel like guilty about even addressing it. Your feelings are going to be like, you're going to feel horrible if you try to bring it out. So what that all is, what that's doing is just training you to shut up.
Yes.
That's pretty much what it's doing, training you to shut up.
Mhm.
And it's also a controlling part of it, okay? All right. So, and then punishing disagreement. So sometimes what narcissistic people will do, they'll punish whoever, and that could be a silent treatment. That could be
That's an
silent.
example, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. That could be like just a deliberate, I know that if you're part of the cycle or whatnot, and you do something to injure their ego, right? Which we call a narcissistic injury.
Mhm.
Oh, they're coming for you. They'll
Mm.
come in for you.
Mm.
And sometimes you can experience a smear campaign, which means that they will literally create their own narrative of something and then just go to anybody and everybody that will listen to them about you. Some people might go after your job. Some people they just do some grand big things. And it's not even that they care. What they care about is just their image, because they cannot handle being seen as the bad guy.
Okay.
Okay, so anything to maintain their image, that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do.
Mhm.
Okay, lack of empathy, we mentioned that. Okay, that's minimizing somebody else's pain. Right? Do not talk about your feelings. I had somebody tell me that, my feelings were excuses. That's what I had somebody tell me that before,
Yeah,
right?
me
So
too.
when you minimize, a person's, but listen, they have no problem telling you about yourself or telling you how they feel, right?
Yes.
And that they're always right. They will turn and twist everything back on you, and then they'll even tell you that you are demonizing them. And then they will
Mhm.
use anything that has to do with you, they will use it, and it will turn like where they're weaponizing,
Okay.
they'll twist it around or make you feel, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They will exploit your finances, they will
Mhm.
exploit your kindness, all of the above.
Mm.
Okay. They need a need for validation, they need constant praise, they need attention, they need approval. I mean, if you want to talk about relationships, when it comes to dealing with a narcissistic mailer, and even with children and even with parents, you can have a narcissistic parent, right? Yeah, you can, right? So, but even dealing with all of that, right? It's a need for validation.
Mhm.
They don't necessarily like big, huge birthday parties. Sometimes they won't even go do major like big events sometimes, right? Because they need to find a way to make it about them, right? They're selfish.
Mhm.
Okay, they need constant reassurance,
Mhm.
okay? So they have difficulty accepting accountability,
Mhm.
taking responsibility. This is something that they can't do because they can't sit in their own shame.
They don't see what they're doing wrong.
No, they see it.
Oh, they see it,
Oh, they can't deal with it. They can't.
but they do it.
Yeah,
So they act it out, whatever. Yeah.
they just do it. They know what they're doing.
Hmm.
They
Okay.
definitely know. And the thing is, they may not know like, okay, every thing for detail because eventually it's innate and sometimes it
Yes,
just
yeah, it comes out.
right. But they know when they hurt somebody. They know that they know what their plan is. They most
Okay.
definitely know what their plan is, right? So and unfortunately, like I said, they have to honestly, when you're emotionally checked out, they're not going to do anything to see how hurt you are. That's why it's very hard to show any kind of emotions in front of them. It's almost like they can't handle. You know what I'm saying? Because recognizing your value and being there for you and comforting you and all of that means they got to feel. And if they even allow themselves to feel, but just for a moment, that means that they're going to have to feel accountability. They're going to have to be vulnerable. They're going to have everything that they fear is required when you want to go ahead and comfort somebody or understand somebody.
Yeah.
So that's dangerous to them. They can't do that. They can't do that because they don't feel safe doing it, right? So don't expect them to do that. All right. So when you have a narcissistic personality disorder, which is NPD, right? It is a mental health condition, but it involves like long-term patterns. You'll recognize the patterns too. Like I said, we said grandiosity, we have the need for admiration, lack of empathy, and then relationship difficulties. My goodness, if you're married to a narcissistic person,
You'd be tired all the time?
I mean, you'll be exhausted.
Yeah,
You can get sick.
yeah.
You'll never, I mean,
What if two people that had a narcissism?
will be competition.
Yeah, they would, I imagine, be a kind of
Yeah.
chaotic situation.
Like that.
Yeah, well,
They like it. Yeah.
yeah,
But it won't be a healthy relationship.
no,
No.
I can't see that being.
Be healthy. But yeah. So the narcissistic cycle, and we touched on this. Okay, so you have stage one, right? The idealization stage, love bombing, right? this stage, you are going to feel like you found your husband, you found your wife. Like, this is the best guy ever. He knows exactly what I need. He understands me. I think he's the one.
Yeah.
He'll take out the garbage. He'll wash the dishes.
Mhm.
He will feed you. He'll feed your delusions of, like, we're gonna get married. I'm gonna marry you, and all of those things, right? That's what happens this phase. Why? This is when they're learning who you are. They're picking up on every
Everything.
single thing, because what they're doing is they're strategizing their plan.
Well, and I can see why they're called the demon, what would you say?
So some people do refer to people with narcissism
Yeah.
as demonic.
Yeah.
Some people, the reason why they say that, and I touched on it, here.
Yeah.
I haven't yet, but I touched on it here. I'll go to that next, since it's 8:13. And what that pretty much where they're getting it from is that some people feel that narcissistic people are sent, especially to those that are very, very close to God, for those that have a light, those that are powerful beings. Again, empaths. Empaths, not everybody's an empath,
Mhm.
right? And not everybody has that, right? And so usually if you are that person, right,
Mhm.
it's like God made you. Like, what?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit right here, okay? All right, I'm doing a presentation. I need you to sit right here, okay?
Yeah, let us sit on
All right. So, what they do is, I was trying to,
This is, yeah.
what did it? Stabilization stage.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you're in front of the camera, okay? I'm in the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the love bombing stage. It's not gonna last long, but it is going to
Like bombing?
love bombing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're really pushing it.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing
You're
everything
there,
for
yeah.
you to catch it.
Yeah. And you are catching it at this
Yes,
point. 'Cause
yeah.
at this
You're
time,
thinking
they
you're
know
doing
exactly.
something right.
Well, yeah,
I would imagine.
they're making you feel very secure at this
Mhm.
stage.
Yes.
Very secure, but they're also learning your behaviors. And they're learning what you like, and they're learning you,
Yeah.
period. So that way they know how to execute their plans.
Okay.
Okay, so you get the excessive compliments, your promises, fast emotional connection. I mean, literally in 2 weeks, oh my God, I'm in love.
Yeah.
Like, you're the woman for me, or you're the man for me. Literally, just like
Yeah.
that. You're everything that I prayed for. That's usually what happens at this phase. They can't stay in this phase too long. It's too uncomfortable. They can't stay in this phase too long. Okay. All right. So I feel one of the most hardest stages to be in is the devaluation stage, which is stage 2. In this stage, it's very dangerous. Over time, the relationship may begin to start changing. You're not going to be idolized. You are not, all of a sudden, everything they used to do in the beginning, it stopped.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you see an attitude and a presence that's like, what's wrong with you?
Yes.
Almost everything you do is a problem.
Mhm.
All of a sudden the communication drops. You know what I'm saying? Meaning it's not as much. All of a sudden you don't feel as connected, right? Please don't look for any kind of transparency. Do not look for any kind of honesty from them. What they're going to be consistent in, they're going to be consistent in gaslighting and manipulating. That's what they're going to be consistent in doing, okay?
It's kind of a need that they're going after.
Yeah, the thing about it is, it's just like they can't keep doing the whole lovey-dovey thing forever.
Yeah.
That's just not, they can't do it. It's uncomfortable.
Yes, yeah.
And during this stage, they're literally kind of putting a lot of energy into you, rather you putting too much energy into them.
Mhm.
Remember, grandiosity, it's got to be all about me. It can't be
Yeah.
just about you,
Yeah.
So you have to remember that. So you have you withdraw affection. You also create confusion. I'm telling you, they'll have they literally will have you like second guessing, like, what is
Yes.
going on? Just,
Yeah.
right? And that's when you start,
We're saying, what did I do?
yeah,
But
all
what
of
did
that.
he do, or what did she do?
This is when they think they're fangs in you,
Yeah.
right? They're called energy vampires.
Oh,
Yeah, because they take you through to the point where now you feel emotionally exhausted and it's like, what else do I have? Like you start second guessing yourself.
Yeah.
It's all a part of the plan,
mhm.
all a part of the plan. And the thing about it is because you're responding to that, you are literally validating their power
Mhm,
that they have over you, right?
mhm.
So stage 3, you have the conflict and accountability avoidance, all right? So what happens what that looks like is like when you start feeling a certain way, you want to go ahead and like, you know what, there's just some things that I want to discuss and how I feel, or we're in a relationship, so we should be able to talk. And it doesn't have to be a relationship thing too. Like say if you go to your pastor and say, hey, listen, I don't think they do saints meetings anymore, do they? Where everybody
Maybe
stands up and
somebody
says, I got
does.
an oath against you.
We haven't, yeah, no.
Yeah, okay, so I don't know if they do stuff, but that would be the time, like, well, somebody might, dismiss how you feel, like,
Yeah.
Pastor, when you said that, I didn't really necessarily like that, you know what I'm saying? Or
Mhm.
however you wanna say, a deacon, or if an usher came and said something to you, or whatever the case may be, and you get dismissed immediately, meaning you already know that you were not heard,
Okay.
the
You.
behavior won't change. They might not even stand there. They might brush you off, be like, "What? Talking about that? No, that's all on you.
Yes,
That's on you." And
yes, yes. So, okay,
it's a
yeah, I have a 8:15, but,
well, we could pause. We can be done. I mean,
okay,
there's only
let
two
me,
more
let me,
steps.
okay. Yeah, I don't have it here, I've been, okay.
Okay,
Oh, I see it now.
there's two more. There's just two more stages. That way, next week we just go right into the last stage.
Okay, so you wanna
And
pause
go-
here?
No, no, no. I want to finish these last two stages real quick and then start because next week would be next week would be narcissistic signs of it, in the church, what that it will look like. And it has scriptures that go along with it.
Okay, that'd be good. I do have a question.
I hope
And
I can
the
answer.
thing is, no, you wanna finish the last two then?
Yeah, so stage 4 is just the discard. That means
Okay, these are actions of the person
this
that
is the
has the
cycle.
disorder.
This is the cycle that a
Okay.
narcissistic person will put you through.
Okay,
All right, so you have the first stage, which is the idolization stage. That's when they
the
first meet
lovey-dovey,
the
love
lovey-dovey,
bomb.
yes, when they're learning you. The devaluation stage, right? That's when they're gonna start manipulating you and make you think that you lost your mind sometimes, right?
Okay.
Gaslighting, all of that, right?
Mhm.
And stage 3 is the conflict, the lack of accountability, and avoidance. You're not gonna get anything. You're gonna be
Mhm.
you can't talk. Because that usually at this, and also during this stage, sometimes they will start something called the campaign.
Yeah.
All right. If you do a narcissistic injury, meaning you shut down their ego in any kind of way or expose them
Yeah,
in any kind of way, please understand that's probably they will come for you and they will ruin your world. They will take your money. Some people were arrested, just different things. And what they do is they create their own narrative. Actually, they'll create your own narratives for almost anything and everything that you do. So you could tell them the truth, but what's going to happen is they're going to add to it, they're going to take it and whatnot. And say if they break up with you, or say if you, even with a parent situation, your mom might be narcissistic, right? But she'll go and tell all your aunties, your family and stuff. This is what she does. It's how it is, and that's not even the truth.
mhm.
But anything to preserve their image. Anything to preserve their image.
Okay.
That's what they're gonna do. Okay. And then also the hoovering. Hey, they're coming back. They're coming back. Hoovering.
Okay.
Yeah. So what they're doing here is just the attempting of pulling you back in. And this could be 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 2 weeks, 1 week, any of the above. So the best thing to do is when you're dealing that, you want to get out the cycle. I'm telling you, the only thing that you can do, block,
Okay.
cut them off. And I mean all social media, all numbers, change your locks, all in it. It's excessive. But what if you have a pastor that's like that? I mean, we're not going to talk about that now, but
Okay.
But I'll go into the church part of it because that's the next section. So I'll go over that next.
Next week?
Yeah, yeah, I can do that next week.
Okay.
We'll go over the treatment, And I guess I'll stop right there.
Okay, you wanna stop there? I have a question for you.
I hope I can answer it.
Yeah, well, if you can't, well, we can look it up and possibly deal with it next week, you know. This is from Pastor Kim.
Hi, I'm Kim.
She's gonna talk to you. How does it, you might wanna read it, you know, how does a person disconnect from this type of person?
Okay.
That would be a problem probably somewhere.
Honey,
Yeah,
how do people disconnect? So the best thing you can do, like I said, is you gotta literally cut all ties, contact and everything. So, if you're married to one, well, if you're in church, I mean, y'all can't get divorced, can y'all?
yeah, but you can, but not for narcissist.
Well, I guess you wanna pray about that one, cause I mean, if you can't get divorced, no, what you wanna do, all jokes aside, you have to cut all access.
Okay,
All access. So when you're dealing with a boyfriend, right, you want to go ahead and or even a girlfriend, block from social media, block from all cell phones, take them off any kind of bank accounts, anything like that. You want to literally cut all of their access, change lock, all the above. Sometimes it's not that easy. So then what you would do is, it's called the gray rock method, meaning you show no emotion.
yeah,
You cannot show them any kind of emotion because that's what they live off. That's what they thrive. Chaos and confusion. That's what feeds them. And if you act very plain and meaning indifferent, you're extremely indifferent, they can't do nothing with you.
Mhm.
And they'll leave you alone eventually.
Yeah,
Right? So that's what usually a lot of therapists will tell their clients that, you know, if you're in a situation where you can't leave that narcissist because of children or just financial reasons or marriage,
yeah.
you can do the gray rock method, which kind of they'll leave you alone if they can't get nothing from you, and that's emotion too.
Jordan, turn that down, please. That's okay.
Okay.
All right, very good. I think that gave you some idea of answers
another
for
question?
how do you disconnect. Okay. Hey, honey, all right. Um. And so, and Kim, you mentioned the vampires. You said they're demon.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we'll talk about it, but briefly, real quick, when a lot of people think they're demonic.
She said energy, the energy from the you know, demonic vampire.
Well, they're
Yeah.
sent. People believe that they are sent.
Oh, okay.
Okay, they know exactly who they go to, because if the devil couldn't get you with other things, right? They'll, like they'll take it up
Yeah.
a notch and they'll design this person to come and get whatever they can get from you just to destroy your life. Why? Because you have purpose and you have a gift and you have a work and you
Okay.
were called,
Yeah.
right? So if I can't get to you any other way, I'm gonna go ahead and try and send somebody. And I'm gonna probably, camouflage them to be somebody that you would never ever think would do this. And so, like I said, there's a lot of other things that tie into that, but that's just one of the ideas and theories about what some people feel. They literally call them their demons
Okay.
disguised.
All right, that's good. And I don't know if we have to go into that next week or
It's up
not.
to you guys.
Whatever, well, it's almost 8:30 and I don't like to go over. Let me see, your brother John,
Hey.
teach Sister Joe now. So, we thank God for those that are on. I'm sure there's some I can't see. But our pastor, thank you for that question. And it's probably, that's what Joe said. She referred to them as energy vampires.
They're in
Yeah.
vampires.
Yeah, but can it be a saint too?
Why not?
Yeah, all
If they're gonna be
right. That's,
pastors,
but to be a vampire, yeah, I can understand why people would,
don't get
because they're trying to get, yeah, not the real,
vampires suck blood out of you, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
well,
what they're
it's okay.
doing is they're sucking energy.
yes, yeah,
They're not only energy, but everything that you
Everything.
got to make you absolutely
Yeah.
nothing.
yeah,
Absolutely. They will drain you.
Mhm.
literally, from
Yeah, you'll be
everything.
very tired, I guess, emotionally tired and feeling wise, yeah, I can
If
imagine
you
that
are
you
going to
just
think too
want.
much of yourself, you might forget who you are.
Yes, well, I'm sure that happens, I'm sure.
Honestly, and then if they do walk away, what they don't want to do, they're not gonna say, if you hold them accountable for anything you do,
Yeah,
they will run. But when they run, please expect, you have to understand, they're going to come and they're gonna try and destroy you. Understand that. That's the
Yeah.
thing. If you cause a narcissistic injury by pretty much shattering their ego,
Mhm.
they're going to figure out how
Yeah,
to get you back. And if you let them back, which a lot of people do in
Yeah.
relationships,
yeah,
it's going to be even worse than the first time. It does not get better.
yeah,
It does not, and you can try and say, okay, pastor, can we meet and have marriage counseling and whatnot? Well, good luck with that, because your husband, they may not necessarily even understand that he even has it.
yeah, yeah.
And they have to go through, we'll touch on treatment, but first of all, they have to understand that they have it, and that's the problem.
Mhm.
They don't, you can't tell because they're never wrong.
All right. Well, Jonelle, I thank you for coming on like that, and next week, if everyone, one motive to kill, yeah, sounds just like the devil, comment by our pastor, one motive to kill, steal, and destroy. Just comparing it to, how the devil comes to us,
Yeah,
sneakily, and, that's the only way that kind of person could get what they need, is not to come right out. Most people, want to be, want to hear the truth. Well, if I can put it there, I don't know. I don't want to get into another topic right here, because we do have to stop. But that's a good comment right there. And possibly, I don't know where you'll be picking up from,
Let me,
but next
have you ever, I think growing up, there was always I don't know who used to say this, but you know how like they used to say, well, the devil can speak in tongues too?
yeah,
The devil knows the scriptures too?
yeah,
Okay, kind of think of it like that. It's scary, but kind of think of it like that. You know what I'm saying? These people literally are taking everything, they're mirroring you.
yeah,
So when they do move on, you're gonna find like, oh my God, I like that, or I do that, or I do. That's because they literally took everything from you that now
Yeah.
they took you on. And here you sitting, you forgot who you were.
yeah.
And the devil can literally, he
There
can
it
mock.
is.
He can mock, and that's usually what narcissistic people do, mock.
All right. All right. Well, we thank God very much for this topic and the different comments that you have made. And what I want to do is make sure that, God willing, next week, what is today, the 5th,
Six,
6th,
the sixth.
6th? Okay,
The
13th.
13th.
13th, God willing, next Thursday evening, 7:30, we're going to continue. If, I think it would be more that we would be able to learn about this. It's interesting, and we're kind of dealing with narcissism, but there are other things that can come in. But ask your questions or comment, and we'll be back, God willing, next Thursday at 7:30 with Jonelle Powell and presentation of a mental health issue. Um, oh, your brother sent you stars. All right.
John.
All right, thank you so much, everyone that's been on. It's been very good, and Jonelle, again, I thank you. And we're looking forward to coming back. All right, this is Lady B saying good night. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. Okay, good night.
Thank you. Good night.